So welcome to week 5 in how to create your character. And a quick update on where we are in our process. We spent the first 3 weeks looking at your uniqueness and the unique team you want to be a part of in the pursuit of a unique purpose. But to accomplish those underlying motives, you need a character. So now we're beginning to discover how to actually create your character. And last week, with the creation of a picture, using darkness and light, shaping your character based on the characters in life that you've seen, that you've liked, and their abilities. So now we're going to look at putting emotion into it, and that will lead us to the readiness for the story and the ultimate lesson, and finally with what this is all for. So when we look at emotions, there are many to pick from, and this creates one of the biggest issues in looking at designing your character. You can't create the emotion first. You must look at your character. Then your character determines what you will then feel. So this is really about how to feel alive. You create the character, and then you must trust your heart to fill that character with feelings like the character is alive. But then we have to look at the underlying reason here of what actually it means to be alive. Now, very simply, God is life. You're not life. You don't say, I'm life. But God can say that because anything he touches becomes alive, like your soul. So another way to see alive is an animated life. Anything God touches is animated with life. It's alive. Now your soul, touched by God, becomes alive. But when your soul is not being touched by God, well, you're not life, and you're not alive either, because you don't have a connection to life, so you would then be dead. Now, even if you have a mind, heart, and body, your mind, heart, and body are alive because God touched them during the 7 days of creation. All of creation is alive because of God's touch. However, if your soul is not being touched by God, your soul is dead. And therefore, when you touch your mind, heart, and body, guess what you're touching them with? A lack of life. And if you noticed, human beings tend to eventually die because when their soul's not being touched by life, and then they touch their mind, heart, and body, everything dies. So being alive is about being touched by life, and then you can touch your mind, heart, and body in your own unique way. And at the core of this is your character. You want to create a character that is alive. When you touch that character, it becomes alive with life, expressing God, but not actually being God. Then your mind, heart, and body have to figure out, how do we think, feel, and act as this character? And that's where we come to with emotions. The first step in creating emotions to help your character feel alive is to let your heart determine. You, as the designer, don't get to pick the emotions. That's the job of your heart. It's because there are so many to pick from, and how do you figure out which are the right ones and which are the wrong ones? Well, fortunately, your heart is built in with everything you need to come up with these emotional decisions. Your character needs some general overriding emotions that are going to empower your abilities, and your heart must be the one who makes the decision on which emotions are most important. Now, one of the mistakes that can be made is trying to make a list of the good emotions and the evil emotions. If you do this, something very insidious happens. See, now your heart knows that all emotions are good, so it's going to look at those emotions in the evil column and go, man, I've really got to show the soul that that's a good emotion, that hatred or that anger or that rage. So the heart goes on the side and it works on those emotions, not when you're looking, and it gets them really awesome, and it's going to be like, this is going to be so excited. When this emotion's come out, the soul's going to see that it's a good emotion too. And then it comes out in this destructive explosion. Rage and greed, scared, desperate, all these powerful emotions just rock you that the heart's been working on all these years, and then it brings it out and it just obliterates life. So how do we stop this kind of expression from coming forth? Well, you need a character. Your character determines what you will feel. The feelings go around the character. They fill in the character. They give it color and life and expression. Your job is to form the character, And then you must trust your heart to pick the emotions that are most important for that character. And then your heart will develop those emotions and stay away from emotions that aren't necessary. It's not that they're bad, they just don't serve your character. So your heart must be allowed to determine the emotions that are most important for your character. And then you must let your heart dramatize those emotions, whatever they are, whatever emotions your heart has decided are the most important. You must let your heart go with them. Feel the joy, feel the wonder and rapture, or feel the anger and the rage and the fight of it all. That's good too. Or the sadness, whatever's needed. You must allow your heart to dramatize that emotion. But why? Why can't we just have neutral emotions that, aren't really there? You don't really feel them too much. Wouldn't that be nice? The problem is we look to each other to figure out how to live life, how to react. Now, you have your own character. You don't decide solely based on them, but if you see here in the picture, the actress is looking to the actor. How's the actor responding? And that's going to help her get into position to express her own feelings more effectively. It's not that it'll be bad for her to just go off on her own and do whatever she wants, but we want to work together. And in your unique team, you need each other to have powerful emotions, vibrant, dramatic, so it's easier to learn how to work together. And they can feel your character. They go, oh, right, he's feeling upset, or he's feeling sad, or he's feeling left out, or she's worried about something. That helps me know how to feel in response. If you notice, the heart's always in the middle, in between the mind and the body. And even with people, the emotions are what's in between the people. You have to feel what's happening from them, interpret it, and then send feelings back, and that just is an always going process. But your heart is very good at doing this. Don't get in the way. Don't tell your heart how to feel, how not to feel, how to react, how not to react. Let your heart run this for you. It's what it wants to do. Let it dramatize and determine which emotions are most important. And then you can let your heart dwell. Dwell on what, though? Whatever it wants. It's going to dwell on the emotions that are most pertinent to your character. And you don't want to get in the way of this. Let your heart first develop those skills, those particular emotions, and then really go with them, interact with other people. It has to be allowed to dwell on those emotions, and it's really excited about them. Whatever emotions they are, the heart wants everybody to come on in and feel the filling nature of this emotion. Come under the currents with me. Let's make it a group experience. Let's do something together inside this emotional pool. And then our emotions will all mix together and we'll do something amazing because it's so easy to see and feel who each other are. So your heart must be allowed to dwell on that emotion and just saturate your whole body, even the air around you, even the people around you. And that's how you feel alive, having that radiant emotional power seeping out through your body and permeating the whole world. So we can see then, you feel alive when your heart is free to dramatize your character. So although that's very nice to see all that, we're going to need a project. So for week 5, you have that picture that you drew last week. Black and white, a black backdrop with white pencil shaping your character with the 3 abilities that you want to have. Now, pick the one feeling that triggers each of your character's 3 abilities. This is the emotion that when you feel that, it fires off one of those 3 abilities. And you want to have an emotion for each ability. So you want to then pick a color for that feeling. So each of the 3 emotions, you want to have a color for them. And then finally, use only those 3 colors to fill in your drawing of that white character of yours on the black paper. So you have 3 abilities, you have an emotion for each ability, and you have a color for that emotion, and then you only want to use those colors to fill in your drawing. And that will prepare you and your character for next week when we get into action.